Let's talk about preparing yourself and your business for the fall and winter season. So for a lot of you guys, things are starting to slow down depending on exactly what business you're in. My junk removal guys especially. Spring and summer are very busy, and then things start to trickle down in the fall and definitely into the winter for most of you. So with that in mind, there's a few things that you should be doing to prepare for that, as well as put yourself in the best position moving forward and prepping for next year as well. So during the spring and the summer, you don't really have a lot of time, right? You don't have the capacity to do the things that you probably know you should be doing. So during the slow season, this is the time to get those done. Things like maintenance on the truck, things like getting a little bit more reviews from customers and maybe you forgot to ask during the summer, so doubling back to them, communicating to customers you work with in the past, shooting them a text, sending out an SMS campaign or an email blast to pick up business during the slow seasons, as well as participating in local groups, BNI, and other areas that are going to help put your business in the forefront of some of these other businesses you work with or the residential customers. So take advantage of this time. It's not necessarily all a bad thing, because I know when speaking with most of you, usually you're like, well, I've been very busy, I've been on the truck, I haven't had the time. Now that's not the case for all of you. Some of you are already off the truck and you get to do this year round. This is more specifically for those of you who are on the truck, either primarily or most of the time, that don't have the capacity to do these things. Well, during the slow season, now you do. So if you've been watching my content, you're like, you know what, Blake's been saying, put together content for YouTube, but I haven't had the time. Now's the time to do it. If you've heard me talk about local Facebook groups or building a local Facebook group of your own and you didn't have the time, well, now you do. It's important to take advantage of this because you're going to get busy again in the spring of next year. And it's not like you're not going to have work here in the fall or the winter, but you will definitely have a few hours available each day to start putting these things together. So I want you to take advantage of that, because if you do, this is going to set you up for not only a better fall and winter this year, but also position you for a better spring and summer next year, which is something that I don't want you to forget about. Another area of opportunity is going to come down to marketing. Are you currently doing any marketing? Well, those of you who are, I notice most of the time businesses tend to try and pull out of their marketing in the fall or the winter. The problem with this is that now that marketing that you would have done, let's say SEO for instance, that would have helped put you in the forefront in March, February, and April of next year. Now you're taking 5 steps backwards to save a buck during the slow season. So instead of doing something like that, take the time that you have to put together resources to be able to pay for those things, as well as use those resources to help you get business during this season, as well as set yourself up for success next season. If you're not already marketing, this is probably not the ideal time for you to jump right into marketing, depending on your situation. But keep in mind that doing the marketing now is helping you down the road as well. It's not just a short-term solution. I think we tend to get that mixed up. Solid marketing is positioning you both for the short term as well as the long term. It's having somebody on your team who can tell you, we're doing this, this, and that, not just for right now, but for also next year, because that time's gonna come and we wanna prepare you for it. The businesses that are looking that far ahead are gonna have more success than the businesses that are only looking at this week, next week, and 2 weeks from now. So you wanna change your mindset if that's you, because while the short term is important, you don't wanna lose sight of the long-term vision of your business as well, and the things that can help you move the needle for both. So I hope that helps any of you who are currently struggling. Make sure you're using your time wisely. And again, just to recap, a couple key areas that you can spend your time on are putting together video content, creating or participating in local Facebook groups, BNI and Chamber of Commerce, SMS or email blasts. And if you don't have the potential to do that, let's say you don't have a system for it, then it may be you just going through individually and reaching back out past customers to kind of gauge where they're at. An example of that would be like, hey, John, we did business for you in the summer, or we really enjoyed working with you this past May. We have a $25 off special. We're gonna be in your area this week. Do you have anything you need removed or anything you need done that we can handle for you, depending on what business you're in? That's an example, a very basic one, but an example of that, all right? but you have the time to do these things now, so take advantage of that. And lastly would be focusing on reviews. If you had been slacking on reviews, or maybe you sent something out to people, but you notice a lot of them never left a review, maybe this is a good time to send some stuff back to them and get that review. Any of these areas will help you significantly, both now and for next year. So take advantage of the times you have and go ahead and take advantage of doing those things.